They can hear me, and they can hear you.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, folks, to episode 207 of the HAC Show. And as y'all notice, we have a updated new look, reflecting our new colors.
Oh.
And Jack just hurt himself, hopefully unintentionally.
It was from a sneeze.
Ah, yes, the deadly sneeze, the sneeze. I don't have a sneeze at the moment, but hopefully you enjoy the new look as we are slowly but surely putting a fresh coat of paint to the channel, as one could say. I'm the generally beautiful and moronic hack,
and I'm your favorite VTuber, Jack.
And for this week, we're keeping it light and casual as far as in my neck of the woods. No big news topic to cover as far as I'm concerned. There is one thing. Unfortunately, it does dive into real world politics, especially in our great state of Texas, which admittedly, when I first read that news, is regarding the Senate bill, I believe it's called SB 9.
20.
Thank you, SB 20.
20.
I did have a good internal debate with myself how I really felt about it, and pretty much my conclusion is that I think for it to be a fair bill, they need to actually, considering the subject matter, what that bill is about, they actually do need to be explicit on what they want to make illegal. Because if not, then as people have already making jokes and memes about it online, I saw this one post on X where someone they're going to the electric chair for watching original Dragon Ball.
And like that's the thing. I won't get too deep into it, but I remember my brother was the first one that showed me the article. I'm like, oh, that's, and of course, almost falling for the clickbait. I was just like, okay, this is very, very bad. Why are they doing this? Yada yada yada. I read the bill. I'm like, oh, okay. So it's for AI generation. And then I'm like, okay, but... And I start reading the context. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't really state that well, because they say AI generation or computer software. I'm like, that is way too broad.
Yeah.
Because computer software can literally just be someone going on their paint tool side or whatever the people are using nowadays. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're using that and drawing that.
Yeah, so that's my one really critique of the bill, because when I actually looked into it and not try to go for the headline, I was like, okay, I can agree with the AI stuff. We shouldn't be making AI images of minors in such manners that they should not be put into. Had to talk around it because YouTube, but I hope everyone understands my implication.
Yeah.
They just need. I think they could have just stopped it there, because there's already laws in place about actual depictions of minors and that type of situation in reality. It would be an overreach to extend it to into media, and by media I mean particularly media that depicts fictional characters, because then that goes into a lot of it goes straight into a lot of censorship issues. And as of right now, the bill is passed our Texas Senate, which means it's something both Republican and Democrat senators agree with, and it's now being reviewed by our Texas House of Congress. So very much similar way to how the United States do the U.S. government passes bills. So it's not into effect, but we'll have to wait and see what happens, or if there will be any amendments before it is either finalized or thrown out by the governor.
And like the whole thing is just like, really, I would say, okay, yeah, I understand that there are many bills and laws covering certain aspects of that type of content, but it is good. Like, here's the thing. Here's the problem. I am, and you could see it by the person that created the bill. I don't remember his name, but uh, he was mostly talking about AI generation. So I don't know why he put in computer software because I'm pretty sure they did it to like cut a whole spectrum of AI algorithms and like AI models. But years down the line, and here's what I hate about politics and laws. Years down the line, let's say even hell 50 years, people will forget what a law was supposed to be, what it's supposed to mean, why they did it, and they'll go, "Well, they said computer software gonna ban everything."
Yep.
Because and that's mainly a problem with I always say lawyers. I know lawyers get a bad rap. At the same time, when lawyers, their whole shtick is jumping loopholes. Yeah, yeah. I like imagine making a profession of gaslighting people with old laws that people just don't exactly interpret 100% because they either forgotten or just haven't been brought up a lot.
and
That is
yeah,
lawyers.
but yeah, and there's tons of rules rules like that all over the countries and cities. Like how in our city we could still technically carry a sword.
Yep.
That's funny.
And
Uh, but
I know it's funny because I was thinking to myself with the fact that I'm like reading it. I'm like, you know what? After reading this, I'm a little bit more calm. But now I could tell it's gonna have so much clickbait. There's gonna be so many, and then my TikTok was like full of them,
oh yeah.
full of videos of what the TikTok accent. Texas senators are currently going to ban anime.
Yeah, all
That
anime is
the
gonna be
anime.
banned.
So we have Texas senators trying to ban anime. That means you cannot watch Kill la Kill, Goblin Slayer, and you could be facing legal time. I'm like, oh my god, just stop talking like that. And it got to the point where I'm like, you know what? It may be a losing battle, but I at least want some people to recognize what the bill is. Because not many people are gonna take the time to just like go out of their way and look up the bill.
Especially since
I,
this is a only a statewide bill, so this only applies to people living in Texas.
Yep, and I put in the comments exactly what the bill does, and me not saying I'm saying I agree with the sentiment, but the wording is broad and it's should be revised. That's all I say,
Yep.
and I got a good couple of likes. There was one guy that went off kilter talking about, well, this is a problem for Republicans.
Republicans.
I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, whatever you say. Well, either way, I'm just here to say the grass is green. I didn't want you to tell me that the grass is green because it's the goat's fault for eating
Technically,
it.
on your side, it's purple. I have the green side.
Yep.
Oh man, but yeah, I just wanted to comment a little bit on that since that will directly affect us, and hopefully, even if it, let's say it's approved, the bill will be revised, and there definitely will be appeals to it because of its broad broad use of language, and as Jack pointed out, and I definitely agree that that the law can be used as a tool to, oh excuse me, I just ate dinner recently. It could be a tool to strengthen censorship laws here in Texas. But at the moment, enjoy your anime and manga as you have now. And also, hello Edward. Glad you could stop by for a little bit, and thank you. Are having a good day.
Welcome, welcome.
Uh, speak.
Also, welcome, Johnny.
Yes. So also you too, Johnny. We did see you. I was middle of.
Damn.
We were middle of Jack's monologue. Speaking of Texas, Jack, actually, you know what I've been I've been doing the past few days.
What?
It's not all I've been doing, but I've been mostly consuming King of the Hill content on YouTube. Mostly from one YouTube channel. The YouTube algorithm got to me this past week. I was shown a channel called Squirrel Tactics. You ever heard of them?
No. Well, maybe. I might need to look back because I was also slowly going down the King of the Hill rabbit hole again.
So what Squirrel Tactics is, it's a guy who is a dedicated to channel to King of the Hill, where he talks about aspects of the show, whether he talks about certain episodes, certain reoccurring characters, or specials of the episode, just stuff like that. And I was going down that rabbit hole. He has a nice, very sarcastic sense of humor. Cool. A neat thing, not important, but a neat thing. He's also a Texan, so it's nice to have a have a Texan's perspective on a show that's all about Texas. And it's just him literally sharing his thoughts and observations about the entire show. And because he has a nice southern warm voice to him, I just kept let it playing as I am just doing other things in the spare time, almost treating it like it's a mini podcast a little bit. And because of that, I'm just pretty much reliving all my favorite episodes of King of the Hill, and just also noticed the things that I did not know before until he brought it up, and I was like, oh, I never saw it that way. Dottie says there's an obsessed person to make a channel about any and all topics, isn't there? I mean, that was the point of YouTube. It's to express your individuality. Even if that means you just talk about a TV show from 30 years ago. Which isn't that how most people on YouTube start? Isn't that how they started? Am I wrong?
True.
There you go. So I've been having fun just listening to him while honestly I'm trying to finish up Batman Arkham Knight. I'm at the part of the game where everyone hates, that being collecting all the Riddler trophies. And I am more than halfway through collecting all the trophies. I should move on to the game, but the game is so fun to control and play that I'm still playing. But at the same time, I'm like, I could end the game. There's literally a thing of the actually end the game. There's the press square to what was that called? To initiate the Nightfall protocol. It's literally a button that says you can end the game now. And I'm like, but I'm not done yet. I'm only 96% done. I need to get the other Riddler trophies. And I think there's some other vehicle chase I gotta do. Since if you never play the game, throughout all of Gotham City, you have the militia groups that set up vehicles and watchtowers and stations all around Gotham, and as you're playing the game, it's your job to take them out. And if you take them out, and after you beat the main campaign, what ends up happening is, instead of the Arkham Knight being in charge of the militia, Deathstroke takes over. So the whole point of the show. So I'm hoping, unless I'm wrong, that once I do this one last militia job, I get to fight Deathstroke. Hopefully, maybe. So only problem is, I have to find one certain patrol car in one part of Gotham, and I'm like, I could try to find it, but I'm too busy finding the riddles and doing all of that. So I really had to talk to myself. Should I really keep playing this game like that, or just move on? Especially since there's other games that I would like to move on to. Like, god dang it, Jack, the game just feels so smooth to play. Ever been in a
Right.
situation where you know you should move on from a game, but it just feels that dang good? You're like, okay, one more mission. Okay, let me collect a few more things, and then you keep telling yourself, and all of a sudden you put it another 30 hours in.
Oh, that's always been me with several games, which is why I have a big problem when it comes to like what was it? What was it called? Choice paralysis? I think that's what it's called. Where you end up like looking at everything, you like you don't know what to play because if I play, for example, Civilization 6 or any Civ game, for God forbid, you just you end up going, okay, let me just finish up making this one city. Okay, well, actually, you know what? The city is having some issues. Let me just go ahead and build some more units. Okay, well, the units are also having some issues. Let me just do that, and it keeps continue on. Later, you realize you've been up since 4 a.m. You're up since 4 a.m. and you're like 1,000 turns in. You spent 8 hours already on one save file. Done that with Repo recently, which for those that have not been seeing me play Repo, you definitely should at twitch.tv/justjackvt. Gotta put in the little promo there. We just hit 250 followers, by the way.
Huzzah! Huzzah!
And Repo has taken over a giant chunk of the channel's like category because it's a simple game of just going around collecting stuff, but it just feels different from Lethal. Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy those games where it ends up becoming a time sink because it's just like, to me, it means my money is being put to very good use from what I spent.
Yeah, that certainly makes your purchase validated. Like, you got so many hours off of, like, especially if you got it on sale. Because I know I bought Arkham City years ago on sale, so I'm getting my
Mm.
money's worth now. Johnny has a few comments. He says he maintained that Jason's story in Arkham Knight is better than the source material. Wrong, because Arkham Knight does not have Superboy Prime punching reality. Therefore, therefore, your opinion is invalidated.
Now, I'm gonna ask you a big question.
No, I cannot punch reality.
Damn. Well, here I got a second big question.
Okay, what is it?
If it ever went on sale,
Jaw.
would you ever try Gotham Knights?
Now I know you. Thing
Mm-hmm.
I guess the thing for me, I'm trying to think. Um, Compared to Arkham Knight, is the game even smooth and to play? Is it smooth?
So, uh, I think I talked about this very like a long while ago when I first got the game and you were asking me questions. But let me go ahead and take the floor a little bit. When it comes to Gotham Knight, the game itself is really centered around multiplayer. I can tell that. The It seems like whenever they were developing the game, they didn't scale the amount of enemies to the amount of people. So you going in by yourself is has the same amount of people as you going in with 4 people,
I see. I see.
which can be quite a lot, especially when there are certain story sections where you have to end up fighting waves of bad guys and trying to do something. So like I think one big example was I had to raid this part of the Blackgate and it got taken over by Harley. She had rigged explosives in like I think 9 corners. So it was actually 2 corners or something like that. I don't know the layout. Either way, rigged explosives. you have to fight the enemies, but at the same time, go to those corners, wait like 5 or 10 seconds in that corner to shut off the bomb, and then go back to fighting the enemies. While the enemies are not just waiting there for you to turn off the bomb.
Oh, I see. So it's
So
designed to be that one person will find the enemies, and while the other will be deactivating the bomb.
basically, so it whenever I saw those type of moments, I'm like really thinking to myself, yeah, the game was really, really designed for multiple people instead of just one person.
So then,
And I don't think that's wrong, but at the same time, they should have taken into account for people that played single
so
player.
then, would you see then Gotham Knights like RE5 and 6, where those games are improved by having someone else play with you?
That's what I'm hinting at. Like I'm trying to see if it's actually viable.
Because based on because
Because
on when you can recall from your time playing it by yourself, um, would you say that you were experiencing a game that is a game that was competently made, everything works, is there was things to do, but you could tell that if there was someone else with you, you would have had a better time.
pretty much, and it's kind of like what Johnny says right here. Gotham Knights is a game you pick up at somebody else's house and go, not terrible, then boot up something better. So like, it's definitely one of those either rental or get a discount type of games.
Then
Definitely not.
not full price.
Uh, yeah, definitely not full price.
So then that tells me that let's what, because playing I'm not against playing that game. Since that's what only ways you can play as Nightwing, aside from the
Mm-hmm.
side stuff in the Arkham games. Or Batgirl. Don't really care for Robin
Mm-hmm.
because it's not my Robin, but whatever. That's I have to be over. Technically, I'm saying that I'm not over it, but I'm over that. I have to accept
Mm-hmm.
Damien, the little bastard. Anyways, if you know what, here's what I'm offering. Here's an offer you can refuse. Uh, I
All
can
right.
wish list it on Steam, and once it's heavily discounted, we can do like a special Gotham Knight stream.
Yeah,
And
that
it
could be
turns out
definitely.
like, oh my god, we're having so much fun. Then we can like play it in full. Because I'm not because when I first initially saw it, I was like, oh, that'll be nice. You get to actually play as a sidekicks. That you know what, that is
Mm-hmm.
a good concept. It's not always about Bruce. It's not always about Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Edgy Boy. Oh, my parents. Oh my god. Oh, it's
My parents.
my parents.
Although, although there is some other issues,
Hold up.
like some people mentioned that
Shut,
the
hold up.
uh-huh,
Shut up,
go ahead.
Johnny. I know who you're referring to. Shut up. Go ahead.
But there are some issues that I think could have been better. Like the traversing is definitely slower. Traversing the whole map is definitely slower. Like it's almost as big as I would say it's between Gotham City and Gotham Knight, or not sorry, Arkham City and Arkham Knights in in terms of
Oh,
size.
so Arkham Origins. Everyone
Yeah,
forgets Arkham Origins.
yeah.
Ian,
I forget that you are able to traverse in that one.
yep, and not only that, you can fast travel too.
That's basically what they have, which makes sense because these are the same people that made Gotham Origins. So
Arkham
it's
Origins.
God
I
damn it,
know. I don't
keep
blame
doing
you.
that.
They don't have very creative names.
So you have like the best way to maneuver around is fast travel. You get your fast travel points once when they're like an unlockable thing. Go into them and then try to go to the next point of interest that you need to go to. The what's funny is that these motorcycles or whatever the ground vehicle is, I don't know if it's the same for everyone, but the ground vehicle, it feels so slow. But it gives you that, like, they try to give you that illusion that it's fast by giving you the freaking anime fast lines and like putting they put the camera a little bit lower and like it's not that fast. I figured out that it's faster to traverse using the at least when it comes to Nightwing, is using a mix of the grapple hook, jumping, and then gliding. Grapple hook, jump, and glide. Do that. But
that so
other
pretty
than
much
that,
traveling like Arkham City.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I figured.
Well, actually less
Actually,
because
How does
at
Nightwing
least
glide if he has no cape?
he has like a hang glider of some sorts.
Oh, okay. Of course.
But when it comes to the difference between Arkham City and grappling and the way you traverse in this one, it's just that if I remember correctly, in Arkham City, you're able to do like the super grapple, where it's like you press the button twice and it like revs up the grappler to make you go faster. This one doesn't do that.
Oh, wait. So they didn't even give like
So you
no grapple
grapple,
boost. Oh boy.
no grapple boost. You just grapple and then you press A again to jump off, like propel yourself, kind of like in Spider-Man. You propel yourself out, and then you can glide. But it's
And
a little
that's
bit slower.
faster than going on a motorcycle.
Yep, I tried both,
he ti- he,
and it's faster to do.
he timed it. He did an experiment. Got
Yep, it's
he got,
faster.
he's got his
And
notepad and everything.
uh, the Fortnite transportation is for Robin. I forgot which Robin it was. I think it was Tim Drake. They gave it to him, which is kind of weird because from what I know, the way he's able to teleport is that he's hacking into the Justice League's
What satellite?
yeah, the satellite, and just hopping a little bit from it. But it feels so slow. So slow. Then you have then you have like freaking Red Hood just saying fuck gravity, and he just like hops out of pure anger.
It's
He
because
just
the Lazarus pit. Oh, actually, you know what? Oh, I just realized whenever Red
mm-hmm.
Hood's like whenever Red Hood's in something, and it's not his story of how he came back. I always wondered what origin do the writers imply that he had, because because if you want to go with the one from the animated movie, where he's resurrected from the Lazarus
Mm-hmm.
pit, fine. But
Mm-hmm.
I want to see I want to see like a writer in one of the games or films to be like, JC, you haven't been the same ever since Superboy Prime went haywire back then. It's just a little
This
acknowledgement,
one is
to his true origins.
this one is still kind of weird though with Jason, because like it's a fact that, I mean, yes, it's still the Lazarus Pit stuff for
Boo.
him. Yeah, he can double jump, triple jump, whatever you call it, midair jump, purely because of the Lazarus Pit. I don't know how that works, but it works like that apparently.
In this continuity, it works like
And
that.
yep, and I just feel so odd playing a Batman game and then going pew 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 pew, shooting things, and then he just goes, "Oh yeah, they're just rubber bullets."
Yeah.
Explain the perk where you're able to shoot through them.
Invisible rubber bullets. it
Like, explain
it's
that
the
perk.
it's the
Penetration.
DC universe. Anything could happen. Jo-
Yeah, it's the bullet hits them, and as it's leaving their body, it heals them back up, only to feel the pain.
so So Red Hood is shooting basically. This bullets are the equivalent of Diamond is unbreakable. I mean, no, crazy Diamond.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot you to hurt you, to make you feel better, just like I hurt you again. Johnny says, "I want."
Also, the leveling stuff. Is
Johnny
annoying.
says, "I want someone to write that he's alive because Batman remembered to try CPR." He wasn't drowned. He was beaten to death, Johnny. I don't think I don't think he's on CPR when they just got crippled by a crowbar is gonna help him. Oh man. And also nice pun for Johnny says, I thought rubbers were meant for penetration. Oh man.
But yeah, the leveling stuff is atrocious. I don't like the leveling stuff. It's annoying having to deal with like, oh, this enemy is like, it's apparently this elemental type, so let me just go ahead and change my outfit.
Oh. That idea is just funny, but also it's like you when non-RPGs try to do that stuff. The skill trees or level up systems is like, because they know if they didn't have that, the game would be a cakewalk. So they add that in just to artificially inflate the progress. But whatever, that's more of a game game design problem than any a game design trend I don't like than anything. But yes,
the big game design flaw for this is just the fact that changing the outfit means you're changing the actual costume for your character. So let's say you actually enjoy a costume, you just can't wear it because it doesn't have better stats.
No, you gotta treat them like they're action figures. You know, you gotta get the Winter Batman so you can fight Mr. Freeze because he's gonna lose if you have the normal Batman. You gotta be one like that. It's like, don't worry, I got my night vision Nightwing on the case. He'll be able.
Don't worry.
It is like
I got Nanobot Nightwing on the case now.
I just went to the store and got my Jungle Safari Batgirl. Now she's ready to fight Cheetah.
Also, Batgirl apparently has got no love out of this whole system.
Well,
Nightwing can glide with a hang glider that like, I think of that hang glider from like that almost looks like the freaking Goblin Rider thing.
Oh, okay.
From Spider-Man.
Okay, I got you.
But instead of being on top of it, you're holding on to it.
All right, I can imagine that.
Jason has said Jason defies gravity. Tim teleports by hacking the Justice League satellite. Batgirl, she has her cape to glide.
So she's the one you picked to feel more like Batman.
Probably, yep.
Is it a long cape?
No. I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to try her.
See, confirmed. Jack doesn't pay attention to women.
only the important parts.
Yes, which is apparently not her clothing. Don't even remember how big her cape is.
I never. In fact, I've never tried anyone other than Nightwing. To be honest, I only know from gameplay.
You know what? When we play the game, I'll be Batgirl because, God darn it, she needs something.
Yeah, we have our Sheva. Come on.
Because as a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, and this is real comic history, Batgirl was made just to prove that Batman isn't gay. As that is not a lie.
Remember that scene from the?
There was too many comic panels of Bruce and Dick's sleeping in the same room together, not on the same bed, but on the same room. There was either the artists knew what they were doing or they weren't aware what they were doing. Daddy asked, "Wait, wasn't that Batwoman?" I believe it was Batgirl because Batgirl came first. Batwoman came later, and then by like the two, and I think Batwoman was then regulated to, she was Bruce Wayne's cousin, and then in the modern, and then in the modern age, she was then said, "Hey, let's make her gay." Yeah, you would think it'd be Batwoman, but no, they made her to be related to Bruce Wayne. But Batgirl's the one to prove like, nah, Bruce Wayne is just is as straight as an arrow. Simple. Well, you know what? You know what? We look it up or ask an AI, and we can both find out what the real answer is. Ask an AI. I want to know if all AI information can tell us was Batgirl made to prove Batman isn't gay. That's a good poem. No, okay.
See if you can make that into a haiku, though.
Batman isn't gay. He never laid with the Dickie, so Batgirl is made. There's my haiku.
Close enough.
Hey, I followed the pattern. I didn't. Haikus don't need a rhyme, right? I followed the pattern.
No. It was. You said Batman isn't gay, which is 4, because isn't is not is not.
Hey, I'm using I can use my contractions. Don't you Peggy Hill me.
I was a substitute teacher. I know Spanish.
I was a second year substitute. I won substitute teacher. Johnny says, someone asked AI to explain the Supergirl situation after Crisis. No human ever gave me a sensible answer. Oh, well, what in particular, Johnny? Like, like, as in who was she, or like just what happened? Because I think the short answer is, after, there's some some DC history for you, Jack. So after the Crisis of Infinite Earth storyline, which was basically the first DC reboot that happened in 1985, I want to say. There was a for the Superman comics, the new editor and the new writing team wanted to stick to the idea that Superman was actually the last Kryptonian, because in the previous versions, he, even though he was called the last son of Krypton, eventually other people from Krypton prove that he wasn't the last one, because you have Supergirl, Crypto, Comet. I think there's a monkey involved, like a Kryptonian monkey. There was also the bottle city of Kandors. You have a whole city of Kryptonians that were permanently shrunk by Brainiac, pretty much proving that Superman ain't the last one of his kind. So when after Crisis, there was an initiative to make him the only one. However, so what they decided to do is that instead of Supergirl being another Kryptonian, they decided to make a being called Matrix. I believe it's called Matrix. That it was like basically a non-gendered energy being that decided to take the persona of Supergirl, and from there, that was Supergirl all the way up to the next big Crisis event, which was, I believe, Infinite Crisis. So throughout the last half of the 80s and all through the 90s and parts of the 2000s, Supergirl was not an actual Kryptonian, but a weird amorphous being that took on the persona of Supergirl. Now, why the being decides wanted to do that and look like that, I have not read that story. But all I do know was that that's how they able to add Supergirl without breaking the last Kryptonian rule. And that version of Supergirl had a very intimate relationship with Lex Luthor.
Damn.
Yeah, which wasn't actually Lex Luthor, but it was Lex Luthor in possession of his son or nephew, who that was the one in the 90s, and that was the Luther who had that lion mane of hair. That period of comics was just crazy.
I'm tired of not having hair. Let me steal someone's body to have their hair.
Basically. Oh man. That period of comics is so fun, but also just it's so out there. You could tell DC was pretty much all DC was doing throughout that time, Jack, was they were throwing every idea on the wall because no matter what, as far as sales and reception, all of the books could never be as good as an X-Men book. That's all it was. Just like we gotta beat the X-Men, but Marvel keeps whooping our ass, and Marvel was like putting out 10 X-Men books a week.
Johnny, are you telling me that Kara is a horse girl?
The original one, yes.
That raises that no wonder it raises so many red
She's
flags.
a space horse girl.
You're just adding a red flag.
A space red flag.
It's not gonna get any redder.
Space red flag.
Yeah.
Oh man. Johnny says, so Jack, as you can see by exclamation, don't give us an explanation of this shite. Ask John Byrne. Maybe he'll give an explanation. He was the one writing all this crap. He the one thought it was sensible. Anyway, so that ends my DC history lesson. Maybe one day I'll actually look up that story where Supergirl properly comes in. If I remember this conversation. Otherwise, we'll just never know. Even with the power of the internet in our hands, none of us are that curious enough. Let's be real. It's like, do we not want to know? Nah, let's not know. I think where I heard that. I think it was like some comedian. No, wait, that's right. It was an internet historian video on his second channel, where not him but his co-host was explaining the great thing about humanity is the fact that we choose to be ignorant on things even though we know we can just look it up. It's a blessing. It's a blessing in disguise.
No, it's a curse.
Is it? It's a.
I feel like it's a curse.
It's a blessing and a curse. It's a blurst. It was.
Yes, we're blurst. So blurst.
Yep. Josh Chris tried a bit about black people clowning you for knowing stuff. Oh yeah. Unfortunately, none of us can reiterate that joke.
Hold on, let me switch teams.
Get your black card out. But I know exactly what bit you're talking about, Johnny.
Give me your melanin.
We gotta give him all your melanin. Melanin.
Just like holding my hands up.
And then all of a sudden you conjure in your hand a 40 ounce.
Yeah, I conjure my hand.
That's your sacred. That's your sacred water from Corin. A 40 ounce bottle of liquor.
You know, funny enough, I found sorry, I was looking at something. One of my friends from the VTubing group, he was getting drunk while we're all on a late night call. And he was proudly showing off his bottle of Hennessy. And it's not just any Hennessy.
Okay.
He dubbed it the LeBronacy.
Oh boy.
Let me see.
Now, why did he call it that?
Because it was one that was endorsed by
LeBron James.
So ever since then, anytime I ever hear about Hennessy, I'm just here thinking, yeah, but dude, you got the LeBronacy.
Stupid.
Yeah, here's the LeBronacy.
It sounds.
Wait, repeat that.
I said it sounds dirtier than intended.
There's the LeBronacy.
Jack sharing over Discord. Oh wow, it's a cognac.
Yep.
Yeah, I can share here. I'll share this with you fine folks over on the interwebs, so you guys can see what the heck Jack is talking about. And while I'm doing that, I actually forgot to. I forgot. I almost forgot that I even did this thing over the past week. Jack, did you know I went to the movies this past Friday with my little brother, and we went to go see the new Looney Tunes movie.
Oh, what'd you think about it? I was thinking about
Well,
watching that one.
I'll give you what I think about it after we show you our sponsor, Hennessy, Cross LeBron James, a special limited edition cognac that you can purchase now for the low price of $9.95 plus shipping and handling, and you can save 30% off by putting the code HACJAC into the link below.
No. Oh, apparently it's $44.95.
There you go. There you go.
Much.
Make it even cheaper for you. Tell them Hack send you. All right, that's enough. Get LeBron. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Get the LeBronacy out of here.
Both him and Jordan weren't good in their Space Jam movies.
I don't know why I love it. I don't know why I love it. Love calling it that now. The LeBronacy.
Anyways, so back to more important matters. So I saw the new Looney Tunes movie. The day the Earth blew up, and as people have been showing on social media, that movie is basically doomed to fail. Unfortunately, on its opening weekend, it only made $3 million nationwide, and I blame Warner Brothers for not properly marketing the movie. Since they did not even want to release it, a outside company had to step in to even release this movie. That's how much Warner Brothers did not want to do anything with the movie that they finished.
Wow.
But thanks to catch up distribution, the movie is out there, and until it comes out of theaters, I recommend everyone go and see it, because I kid you not, this is probably going to be the funniest animated and also just one of the nice looking animated movies that's not CGI. All not traditionally, no pencils and paper, but all 2D animation with the characters drawn in if I recall, a slight variation of the original designs of Porky and Daffy. And it's a very short movie. It's only like 92 minutes long, so an hour and a half. You're in there and you're out, and no joke is wasted. There is no scene wasted. It's all it's all a great, just animated comedy film with tons of references to Looney Tunes, to deep cut of animation references, and for the few kind of pop culture stuff that they do, how some lesser animated movies will throw in a lot of pop songs here and there for their film. This Looney Tunes movie does do that, but it's only twice, and I do like the songs that they pick. So at least it was only for 2 scenes that made sense why, and they actually picked good songs. So no bubblegum pop. And
was there any pop songs turned
Nope.
orchestrated?
None of that. And also I do love that is about setting up a bunch of stuff in the beginning so you can pay out later. It's the most basic type of storytelling, but it works because it allows them to be creative for how they do the punchlines, and throughout the entire film, both me and my brother, who I'm like 10 years older than him, a little bit more than that actually, but he's a proper Gen even enjoyed it as well. So this is a movie that everyone can enjoy, and there's also it, and as well, it's also one of those few movies that if you bring a younger relative, you could possibly scare them. Because once the aliens invade, it's nothing scary, but it is creepy how they present them. Let's just say you're gonna see a lot of eyeballs popping up everywhere.
Oh.
And just yeah, that's really all I can say. I want to say I can't say more, not because I don't want to spoil it, but mostly because that the jokes are funny. You want a funny animated movie with the Looney Tunes characters, and that's what it is. And I would go out and see it because who knows if there's ever. I would not wait if it's gonna be on a streaming service because who knows if it actually will be, considering that even the streaming service that Warner Bros. Owns, Max, even they just very recently got rid of all of their Looney Tunes material from that streaming service. So if you live, if you live in the United States and you have money and time, go out and see it because who knows if we'll ever be able to see it again. Johnny says, "What's the aliens invading ice gets involved in jump scare Skyrio?" That's funny. Oh man, and I am glad though that that it was playing in a very smaller local theater that's near us, so we were able to. So if it can be at a local theater, then hopefully it's being shown at the big chains around like an AMC or whatever. So yeah, I would do that, and yeah, and just enjoy it. Bring a date; they'll certainly love it too. And if your date doesn't like the Looney Tunes, well, maybe it just wasn't meant to be.
No, I'm gonna have to take my girlfriend. See.
Yep, exactly. It's
I'll let you know. I'll let you know what happens.
If she doesn't laugh, you you know what to do. Get it?
Yep. I know exactly what to do.
Oh man. So yep, glad to see that. And also, one funny observation I did make a post about it, but I'll mention it here. So you know you get the trailers for all the movies coming up before the movie starts. And my brother, I could not help but make the observation that number one, none of us were digging any of the movies coming out. We got the trailers for a new Pixar movie about some gordito want to be abducted by aliens. I'm not exaggerating. That's what it is.
Hey.
And
are they big booty?
No,
aliens?
It's the like let's just be weird and tenderly aliens.
Oh.
So you got that. We got the teaser for the Lilo and Stitch live action remake. No. Let's see what else. We also got the trailer for. I think for another film that I can't remember, but pretty much once the trailer's finished, both of us agreed that the only film that they showed in the trailers that looked like it will at least be interesting, and I kid you not, Jack, the only one that looked interesting and at least pleasing to look at in terms of animation. We both agreed that it was the animated Jesus movie that's coming up.
Oh,
yeah. It's called King of Kings, and I was confused because I just thought I was like, oh, okay, it's a family friendly animated adaptation of the gospel, but no, it's apparently it's an adaptation of a Charles Dickens story about Jesus. Huh. I had to look. I need to look that up. I didn't because I forgot about till now, but that's what kind of weirded out. Because not only is it clearly a Bible movie, but it has a whole bunch of celebrities too. Like, honest to God, celebrities. I'm like, how did they get those people? And the movie doesn't look bad. It's not great, but you know, put a gun to my head. If I was forced to watch the newest Pixar or the newest Disney or the newest DreamWorks movie, I would pick the Jesus movie because at least you know you gotta go out of your way to ruin the gospel. Just saying.
Yeah.
And Johnny with a deep cut late show with Craig Ferguson joke. He says, "Presented tonight in the long-winded and most redundant style of Charles Dickens." I remember that moment, Johnny. I remember that. Oh, by the way, Johnny, every once in a while, every blue moon, I find myself just rewatching mostly the audience segments of the Late Show, just to just to see because they're always so fun of just seeing a TV host interact with the audience and just the improv that he has to do. It's amazing. You have to see it to understand what I'm talking about. But it's just it's the idea that you go on, that there during that time, Jack, you can go on what was basically a low audience view cable late night show, and if you're part of the audience, you had a realistic chance of going home to a free dinner. Because yes,
Hey,
you always do
nice.
that. However, and it was more funnier because he will always pick out the foreigners in the audience. Or he had a running joke where in a certain row of the audience, he called it lesbian row. So if that row was filled with nothing but women,
Oh.
he'll put them all on the stage and tell everyone, "Look, meet the ladies of lesbian row." It just and it's just fun, and it makes you feel like, man, if I was just old enough to know that this show was a thing at that time, then that I would have loved that. But alas, I was just a teenager, and I I wasn't watching late night comedy shows. I was watching more important things like harem animes. Yeah, the you know yeah
Yeah.
the true animes that the Texas government won't let me watch. You know, the real stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone wants their Everyone knows High School DxD is a work of art. Don't you agree?
Busto.
See, it's a work of art. It's a little literary masterpiece, right up there with the redundant works of Charles Dickens.
You know, it's just it's always I always hear from people. It's a good show. It's a
It's
good show. Just you have to get through like some of the first few seasons. I'm like, okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. As a kid, as a teenager, I was
Oh, you
watching
were
it.
watching, all right. By the way, you know, I I did
Hmm.
not care for Ria's Gremory. I did not care for her. But the
I don't
she's
remember.
the main vampire girl with the red hair. Or I'm not sorry, not vampire,
Uh,
demon. I think she's the daughter, literally the daughter of Satan. And
but
not
it's just
care for
like,
her.
like that's just the whole thing. Like I watched it, and I see the interesting parts are definitely like the fighting. The fighting is pretty cool. I like it. It's just the way he gets his powers is
Yeah, yep.
it's a thing.
Johnny's calling me an uncultured swine. Well, if you like Ria's Gremory, I don't see you drawing her. Only because no one has paid you yet. But also, she ain't good enough to be your muse. Now the other chick,
Damn.
I forget her name, but but the one who is a half demon, half fallen angel. That one I could be like, all right, I can get behind that, both metaphorically and literally. She was good. The rest of the cast, I will get rid of the femboy. I don't want the Neko girl. That's too much. The good Catholic girl who turned to a demon. I don't know how to feel about.
You know
I
what would
don't know how
happen
to.
if they had a
I don't know how I feel
crossover?
about that one.
What would happen if they had a crossover with Rosario Vampire?
um, there will be more boob shops than normal.
You know what's more? funny. The fact that in high school, I think it was in high school. In high school, we had a Rosario vampire, like a few
You're
books of
right.
them,
Oh,
and
keep going because Rosario vampire got brought up when I was talking with my sister, and it's related to what you're exactly talking about.
oh no. And I remember in one of the panels there was actually like a pinup of, I forgot her name, but of the main girl. And then it was gone. You know why? Because I took it. I took
It was you.
it.
Well,
I took it.
I don't know if this was the book my sister talked about, but she did went to the same high school as we did, and she was telling me that
Hmm.
in our school's library she did see a manga which, according to her, there was a cover of just a bunch of girls in bikinis, and of course in my head I'm thinking, okay, what manga could that school possibly have to even have something that even risque for a public school setting? And my mind went straight to
Hmm.
Rosario Vampire, which, for the record, I never checked out of the library, but I did watch the anime, and that did not hold up in a second viewing. That did not hold
Yeah.
up. That
I tried.
that shit belongs in the trash.
I tried reading that manga. I tried reading the manga to see, or like when it came to high school, I tried reading the manga hoping to find out like what was the ending. Gave up. I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm done with this.
I still recall that that I knew all these harem type stories was never worth it because I gave one a chance, of which I finished watching the anime adaptation, and I decided to actually read the manga and go all the way through. And the one I picked was Heaven's Lost Property. And
Hmm.
my god, I at a certain point I was pushing myself to complete it because I want to know how it ends and this whole conspiracy with the angels. But at a certain point, it kept basically redoing the same joke over and over again. And when we finally got to the end and all the secret is revealed, by the end of it, I was like, "Damn, this wasn't worth it at all." This
You know what's
wasn't worth
funny?
it
I
at
just
all.
realized right now.
What you realize?
All right, so it took me so long to realize this. The and it's not true, but it's my head canon. The spiritual successor to Rosario Vampire is
Uh
Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun.
huh. That's how you choose to see it.
I choose to see it that way. Look, okay, look at the anime cover of Welcome to Demon School,
All right, I'm gonna
Iruma-kun.
look it up right now. Should I go? Should I go on an incognito browser just in case? Yuck, yuck, yuck.
No, it's not risque like how Rosario Vampire is, but I feel like it has the same premise of like
Here it is.
what it's
Welcome to
supposed.
Demon School, Iruma-kun. Like, see, I'm looking at. Excuse me. I'm looking at the cover. Oh, it looks more comedic than etchy.
Yeah, it's more comedic. There is no etchy stuff in it, but the whole setting of like being in a demon world of some sorts, having a normal kid, which is no, apparently he's no longer normal in both cases. I don't know. It just has that same feeling, except it's less risque and etchy.
Here's a synopsis of it for those who don't know the show. It says Iruma Suzuki has been sold to the demon by its irresponsible parents in exchange for money. Surprisingly, the next thing he knows, he is living with the demon and has been transferred into a school in the demon world. Does that synopsis pretty much is that how accurate is that synopsis?
Yeah, yeah, and apparently he's slowly trying to become Demon
There you
King.
go. And Matthias says he tried it and got bored. Maybe that says more about you, good sir. And also, Johnny, if you're gonna tell us through Rosario Vampire, I need you to reread it now that you are a proper adult and you're not and you're not a teenager. I want you to reread it and then tell us what you think about it now. I refuse to believe that the manga of Rosario Vampire is somehow some hidden masterpiece. I need I need to hear that report from you if you're gonna get on our behinds about a mediocre harem story. If he says he remembers it vividly. We can't trust our memories. Reread it, man. Reread it. But he says he will. All right. Next episode, or because it's on Discord, we want to hear a full report. Your thesis. Oh man. But no, if it actually is good, then you know what? I'll give the manga a try. I'm still expecting it to be somewhat juvenile, but that's because what it was made for. But if it turns out like, nah, there's more to it than meets the eye, then you know I will consider it. Daddy says,
Remember High School of the Dead?
I know of it, never. I know of it, never watched it. I just wasn't in. I just wasn't into it, and it's a little too much for me. It's like it's, you know what it is. It's I view it in the same way I view Prison School, in which
it insists on itself.
It does not insist on itself. And that they're like.
Gonna give me the Peter Griffin. It insists
the ecchi insists upon itself. No, I do in the same manner. Even though I did watch Prison School, where to me is like, man, there was a lot of work and effort for something that I think has something to say, but man, is it? But wherever that something is just painted in egregious amount of fan service. So it's kind of hard to take.
It's lost in the boob. It's lost in the sauce.
They got too lost in the sauce, and the sauce being the boob. You know, I'm sure there is some sort of, you know, there's some sort of commentary about seeing the big booby student doing a bunch of squats and sweating.
Did you? Okay, you just reminded me. On High School of the Dead, there was this one moment where one character threaded the needle whenever it came to one girl fighting in a bunch of zombies, where the bullet went through.
Go, I think I know what you're talking about.
Like it went and flew, like threaded the needle on her boobs, flopping back and forth.
Yep. That's a common gif I've seen a lot.
Now, here is the thing. Whenever I used to go on Tumblr, someone in Tumblr made this whole thing of like, how feasible is this? And this person went on a whole mathematical rant on how fast her boobs must have been undulating to be at that point, have the bullet pass through each boob like that. And apparently it was so fast. Mathematically, her boobs have to undulate so fast that it makes an actual frequency noise. and then added in on that post an example of how high pitched that frequency would have been. It was just like a
the things autistic people will do for fun.
Yeah.
Well,
it's beautiful.
No better. It's beautiful.
I love it.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think. Well, you know what? As much as Johnny is defending Rosario Vampire, which apparently says, if I read it early, he says the artistic evolution of that story is scary. Now you said, now I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. Like, just imagine you started making like some, I mean, not low effort, but kind of cheesy rom com, and then by the end of it, you're ended up writing War and Peace because you're in that sauce now, and you're putting the right ingredients.
Everyone died, and there's only him left, and he has to go back
No,
in
no, no,
time.
no. Listen, that's just edgy. No. Like if it was actual writing, it would be the main character goes on a diatribe of what it means to actually love, and he realizes that he did not truly love those demon girls. That they loved the idea of him, but when he was shown who he truly is, they were repulsed. There you go, boom. There's my Rosario vampire fiction. Oh, he technically did do that when they learned that he was a human, and they're like, "Oh my god," or that's how I remember in the anime. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. And still though, that was man, what was how did he get here? Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. This all goes back to we got sidetracked. Because I think in our school library, in our high school library, I think Rosario Vampire is still there to this day, or at least it was at least when my sister was in high school. Because she saw a manga cover with a bunch of teenage girls in bikinis. To this day, I am still shocked that series was even in our school library. Like it wasn't like super etchy, but at the same time, it wasn't like I still don't not unless the anime just made it more edgy than it actually is. Maybe Johnny, maybe you can fill us in. Is the anime just a more edgy version of the manga, or is the manga a lot about just the same when it comes to like sexual humor and all of that, like in the show? Because I'm still surprised that was in the high school public library. Dice, the anime ruined it all. I'm not. I'm not. Answer the question, Johnny. I thought the anime was way different. Oh, naruhodo.
Oh.
Then now I'm gonna give it. I think Johnny's winning us over. He's winning me over. Now I'm intrigued, and I'm intrigued now.
Is it like a reverse Lelouch, where instead of the anime being very good and the manga being mid, it's the anime being very mid and the manga being very
Guy
good?
says the manga was especially early on. He says not lying. Actually, for your Kogias example, it's more so that I think Kogias is what it is in the manga, and then for the anime, it's like let's put in fucking giant robots. That was the big difference. It was like, how we make this better? Put in some giant robots. Sold, and it worked.
It definitely worked.
Johnny says, "It's
to the point where
every time a vampire comes up, I feel
alive.
obligated to clean its name from the atrocious anime and got." Well, you are Rosario Vampire's strongest soldier.
Although, one thing we cannot deny about the anime, the opening song was a pop.
I don't
remember.
Really
good. How dare you?
How dare I? How dare I? Look, when it comes to anime opening things, I got pretty high standards, all right? I got high standards.
Discotheque is an amazing song.
Yeah, but it's kind of unfair because I can't compare stuff to Tank from Bebop or the opening of Samurai Champloo. I can't. That's not fair. Like it was poppy. I really love the theme of Space Dandy, Viva Namita. I gotta rewatch Space Dandy. Now that's a show I gotta rewatch. I'm hopefully it holds up. I remember loving it. I need to get season 2. Only got season 1 on DVD. I need season 2. No, I need the Blu-ray.
From my mind.
What? Oh man, there's a lot of animes. there's some animes I need to rewatch and see if I still feel the same about it. Except Naruto.
I rewatched.
Except Naruto. I am solidified in my opinion on Naruto.
I am very solidified on my opinion of Naruto. I gave it more than a college try at this point. I gave it the master's degree, and
Yeah,
it
we talked. Yeah,
I
we
just
talked
didn't
about
like
it
it.
in length. Yeah, we talked about it. But you know what manga I need to continue is actually Bleach, because I read the first volume and I really liked it. It kind of felt like I was. It kind of felt. It
Hmm.
gave me a lot of early Yu Hakusho vibes. So now I know that
Hmm.
eventually that goes away and it goes to what Bleach, how Bleach is now. But I want to. But I'm curious enough to follow that series. So every time I go to like a bookstore or anything, I've been hoping to see at least a copy of the second volume of Bleach. But because that series has got, it's already
Hmm.
so far like in its current story, that will be, it's more rare to find copies of the early portion of the manga. Now, unless I gotta, I think I just gotta like buy it online or something.
Probably true. Oh wait, hold on.
I can't get a Vietnamese off my
I-
mind.
I've been. I don't know why I keep thinking you're saying something like "Vive la vida loca," something like that.
Well, because the Space Dandy theme, opening theme, it's called Viva Namida, which translates to Viva Tears. Guys, Namida means tears in Japanese.
Uh, Vive la vida loca.
I think that's probably that's an ending like characters dancing, animated characters dancing ending to a movie. I don't think any movie's gonna ever top that. Mostly because that's a really good cover. You got like you can't outdo it. It's a really good cover. It's a really good cover of that song. Oh man.
But I have been rewatching um Jobless Reincarnation. It is I still enjoy it, but man, you almost forget the amount of heinous stuff the guy does in the very beginning.
Like so,
And you kind of think, you know what? So like the main character before he became before his next life in the
well here
in the
I have a
show.
synopsis put up, so I'll read it and you can let me know how accurate it is. So this is for
Hmm.
jobless reincarnation. The synopsis says this comes from the fandom wiki. It says when a 34-year-old underachiever gets run over by a bus, his story doesn't end there. We see where this is going. Reincarnated in a new world as an infant, Rudy will seize every opportunity to live the life he's always wanted. Armed with new friends, some freshly acquired magical abilities, and the courage to do the things he's always dreamed of, he's embarking on an epic adventure with all of his past experience intact.
More or less, it's just missing a lot of like the actual
Well,
things of how who
it's a
he is.
synopsis, not a it's just not a
Yeah,
summary. But
but basically, except it's not so cheerful as the synopsis makes it sound.
we just say this is a we say this is
Uh,
something in lot. We just say in tone is something more aligned with Ray Zero, where it's where they take the isekai concept but do a more darker tale with that concept.
I feel like it's more realistic in a way when it comes to like saying it. Not darker as in like everything's dying constantly, but realistic in the sense of like the character is not overpowered completely because he's overpowered. And just because he's good at one thing doesn't mean he's good at everything. But to get a little bit more specific, the character itself, he's very much uh when it came to the world of Japan, a neat. Like he does not leave his room whatsoever. Never accomplished anything in life. Became a high school dropout. Stayed in his room for all of eternity. And he got kicked out of his house because he pretty much did something egregious. Very scummy stuff that I can't say on YouTube.
Oh wow!
and from there, that's when he ended up getting hit by the truck because he saw a few people up front and wanted to save them, and I guess he did save them, but he ended up dying because he pushed them out of the way. So now, uh, we have a guy that is 34 years old in the body of, well, basically going through the stages of life, but with his memory still
So an
retained.
actual reincarnation.
Mm-hmm. So he still has all his memories. So very much he's acting like an adult, but at the same time he is pretty childish because of how he raised himself. Uh since he is a neat, very perverted,
I see.
very perverted in the sense of like almost in the sense of entitlement type of way. Um like he really becomes like a smart ass pretty much like in the very beginning. He's very much a smart ass. He thinks that he'll be able to do things very, very well, but
And is that like his? If that's like his big
uh
character flaw in the start of the story?
pretty much that's his big character flaw in the start of the story.
I Yeah, I see. You
That
know, I'm wondering here. I wonder how big. I wonder how much Buddhism is 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 a influence on the show, and by extension, the light novel is based off of. I only mention that because usually when there's an isekai story done, usually the character is excuse me. Sorry about that. Usually, the character is reborn exactly how the age and body that they died in, and they're just in a different world. But this was an
mhm.
actual reincarnation. So so in my head, I'm thinking of how much, I guess, whether we know it or not, how much of the teachings of Buddha are a part of this series, and as like a foundation for how the character grows throughout the story. That's just me thinking out loud.
Yeah. Well, I mean as far as like the whole thing about material stuff, I don't know on that aspect because I don't know much about Buddhism. But he I mean I'm not going to say he becomes less of a pervert, but he becomes tolerable in the sense of like he's perverted but not in a creepy way, if that makes sense.
He's just more like he's just more immature.
Like more like he'll be perverted, but yeah, I'll you know what? Let's go with that because like it's kind of hard to explain without
But
actually thinking about it and going in depth with like his whole character stuff. He's more immature, but what's funny enough, his reincarnated father, or not reincarnated father, but like the father he has in his reincarnation has that same type of like perversion,
runs in the family.
which is weird to say that it runs in the family because the fact that I mean it's not really his first father,
No,
the second
that's
father.
still his dad. He's still got them genes. I'm just saying, it's in his blood.
That is true. And I think it's like gotten to a point where the character's learning that he needs to accept that he does not have his old life and he has a new life and he just needs to stop living in the past, not path.
Hold up. Oh, I just got some breaking news.
Hmm.
Breaking news regarding the Looney Tunes movie. Like, see, this comes from the act. This comes from the storyboard artist of the film, and he posts this on his Blue Sky account that he says just learn our movies being pulled from most theaters by the end of Wednesday. So yeah, so pretty much if you want to see the Looney Tunes movie, there is a strong chance it will disappear from your local theater by this Wednesday.
Ooh.
Yep. He now this is more of an opinion. He does continue on to say that that gotta make room for the Snow White movie that's coming out, but that's an opinion, not a fact. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Not even a damn. Not even the movie didn't even last a whole week.
Damn.
Fudge. Well, all I will say is that uh watch it, and you know what, because of the lack of support, well, I will not directly say it. I believe it is your duties to watch it in any way necessary after Wednesday. I repeat, after Wednesday. If
Damn.
it's before Wednesday, not like actually go buy that ticket. If it's after Wednesday, do what you got to do. go go to India and buy that movie on DVD. On a burned DVD on the Indian market. All right, I just wanted to report that since it was relevant to what we talked about earlier. So back on track is back on track. So I think originally you bring up Jobless Reincarnation because it's a show you rewatched, and if you finish rewatching it
Mm-hmm.
or in the middle of rewatching it.
This is my third time
So that
rewatching
was your
it.
third time watching it. How does it compare to your first and second? Like, what is something that you've noticed now that you are older and presumably wiser?
I'm enjoying it so far. It's still like I'm still in the first season again with this third rewatch, and you really, you really like it makes you go, yeah, I kind of see why people initially did not like this show. They called him many things. Like a lot of the characters in this time setting are doing kind of morally questionable things. Because again, he talks about how he hopes that one day, whenever they're older, he gets to bag one of the girls, or like he even thinks about that stuff because like the setting in this one, adult age is apparently 15, which they haven't even gone there yet.
Oh, so
But
he's already he's already
every
talking pretty much like an adult even before his balls drop.
it's more like everyone around him kind of it's the whole setting of medieval era where they're like, oh yeah, this is expected for a 10-year-old. They might end up trying to do stuff, and I'm like, this is a very weird time frame, but I
Oh,
guess.
oh, I see.
And he runs with and he runs with it because he's a neat. He craves that sexual desire.
Ah, I gotcha. So we're
But
going. So we're kind of going by,
but
kind of by Pokemon logic a little bit.
yeah. So I'm here like, yeah, the guy is very morally questionable, if not egregious. Pretty egregious. Actually not questionable. He is morally egregious in the first season. I I have a tough time liking him in that season. But eventually he ends up chilling out a little bit. And what's funny is people initially they called him the is it safe to say it on
Well, what?
I guess it is.
Just say it. We're already deep in. We're almost close to the end of the show. Just say it. Speak your truth, good sir, as they say.
I remember when the show first came out, people were calling him a groomer. When and I'm here like,
Is there?
he's having them tendencies. I can't deny that he's really having them tendencies.
So would you say he had? Would you say that he has done some things that would a groomer would do? but but you wouldn't call him a full out one. Just more like, hey man, kind of, come down there. Don't. That's not cool, man.
Basically, yeah. Uh, he's never gotten far in the first season until like the very end. In that sense,
Oh, it's
and until that, and then even then, I think it's like a few years later
so
past
good. So he's not a hentai
because
protagonist.
yeah, and of course they don't show any of the thing. They just say they did it, and then aftermath.
Actually, actually,
And even
according to
then,
the wiki fandom, apparently, if you got the Blu-ray of the show, there's an uncensored sex scene with one of the characters, two of the characters. So not quite.
oh
Yeah.
no,
According to this, it says between maybe this means something to you. There's a sex scene between Paul and Zenith. Is
okay,
that
the
Oh,
parents, his parents,
well, there you go. There you go. If you get the Blu-ray, you get to see probably a few seconds of them getting it on.
like like yeah, it's just like his parents. Okay, yep, they're getting it on, most likely
let's
trying
go
to
for let's
have
go
the
for number
second
two.
baby. But like the thing is that the thing is that funny enough, it's weird because he enjoyed the moment. He enjoyed the moment when he got with one of the characters. But that moment was fleeting because of the fact that right after they did it, and he was sleeping, she left. Just like ghosted him.
damn, damn.
Said she was going out on like a journey to get stronger because I mean, yeah, there was things that happened where she just could not be able to defend him. Like in the sense of like combat wise. Like could not be able to defend him while he does his magic stuff. So she wants to get stronger. That scarred him. That literally scarred him to the point where he actually had
Oh
erectile
god.
dysfunction. He was he was impotent for like a whole season.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Couldn't get it up even whenever there was a moment where he was feeling like he was healing. Couldn't get it up for that random adventure. Nope. And
This is one.
and
This
like
is
the thing
one
is
hell of a
that
light novel adaptation.
yeah, and but even then, like this whole thing, it was just him being traumatized with the fact that he did something and he was like, this is supposed to be something sweet and genuine, and she left me alone.
And and
Because at that moment, they had the bad news of like literally everyone being dispersed in his like household. Everyone was teleported to God knows where. So he was by himself.
mm,
He had no family, or he didn't know if his family was alive. He The girl that was with him left him, and his other party member wasn't even there with them, so he was alone.
I see. And I'm guessing he was already not in a healthy mindset, so that just made it worse.
Yeah. So eventually he healed from it, from going all the way to the newest seasons. And you kind of start seeing how he's becoming less of a, like, he has those perverted moments, but he just like says it in a passing way, like not even really seriously intent on doing the action. It's just like, oh, I'll do it. Doesn't do it. Like for example, I guess like one of the girls on the newer seasons like started bad mouthing him and was like, "Hey, shut up, or I'm gonna grab your boobs." And and then she's like, "No, you can't do that." And he asked the other girl, "Can I grab her?" Which is basically her sister. "Can I grab her boobs?" "Yeah, go ahead." "All right." Nothing.
So you know what? You're not. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. You're not selling me on this show at all.
I mean, yeah, I'm not because
Like
like there's more. There's other aspects of the show that I'm just
it
not
feels
gonna
like it,
really
it
go into.
feels like you're very much infatuated with the more obviously the more dramatical elements. But I'm just here trying to feel like. So why do you like this again? Is it just good drama?
Oh, it's the adventure. It's the adventure of him trying to learn to not be a dick, because he's slowly becoming more mature. He had a terrible fear of going outside the household because of his time being in whenever he was in Japan. And of course there's always this whole thing with Asian stories where if you're fat you end up getting bullied really badly,
Hmm.
apparently really badly. For him it was him getting literally stripped down naked, beaten up, and then everyone taking
Good
pictures of him.
lord. Oh, Matthias the show puts Jack on a watch list.
I
Oh
mean,
man, I think it definitely is a show that's willing. It sounds like a show that's willing to, um, take not to extremes, but more so it's willing to be uncomfortable, and so depending on who you are, that could either make the show more appealing or not. Because for what you say, I see mostly like it for the adventure and for the main character's arc of becoming a better person. That's what I'm gathering here. It's him another chance to be like, hey, learn from your mistakes. No, don't be the person that you were. Grow into someone who is better. And it's just him trying to figure it out what that is for him. And I'm kind of getting it right.
and like, yeah, and like I guess to give you an actual very sweet moment. It's the moment whenever he's already like, I think he's practically an adult. If I'm correct, and I'm not saying 15 because of 15 being an adult. He's like literally practically an adult. He's, I think, almost getting to 20. He's married and he refound his two sisters because they were all lost. Uh One of the sisters was taken to the academy to study with him, but later on they realized that sister was just like not leaving her room for whatever reason. It was mostly because of the fact that she felt like she was being abandoned by her father, even though their father was like going out of his way to try and save their mother. And she was like thrown into an unknown situation, doesn't know what to do, so she stick to staying in her room. And there was this whole inner monologue with the main character, with Rudius, like how he's like trying to help her avoid staying in that room, because once when she ends up staying in that room, she will not go out. And he literally almost like saw the exact same thing, that how he was
Mm.
with her, like how he was, and it was mirrored on her. And he was like doing his utmost best to like tell her like, this is not the best way to do it. It gets very bad. Do not go this route. So like you see him learning, and I think that I find that pretty interesting about the character. Like, it's not a flat character. He's actually learning from his mistakes.
All right.
Or you can make me go and talk about
Nope.
Overlord, where
Nope.
yeah,
Nope.
or the man is aura farming.
Nope.
Yeah, he's
As
strong.
far
He's
as I'm
strong.
concerned, that show is worthless. that show that show
Man is
was
strong.
worthless, and
Yeah.
all of it is just it's just every it all it is just people who feel like that's how an MMO should be played.
It is a very bad MMO. but but yeah,
Eh,
like the show itself, Jobless Reincarnation is actually pretty interesting with the character. It's not These are not flat characters. They do evolve, and
What's
uh as Matthias said later on, or earlier on, it's a it's apparently a prequel to a future show that could happen.
Or you could just read the light novel.
I mean, yeah, that's basically where it was getting at, the light novel
Yeah, so
stuff.
I think that's what it pretty much sounds like. It sounds like an adaptation of a light novel, just of how many of not arcs of focus on character, a focus on character interaction over an overarching plot. At least the way you're presenting it. But nevertheless, I believe it's about time to it's time to close things off for tonight's episode. And well, of course, we always start off with Jack. We have anything to announce until the next episode of the HAC Show?
I'll be pretty busy this or tomorrow and Wednesday, so I don't know if I'll be streaming on time, quote unquote, which is like around 4ish, 6ish. So it might be late, or I might not be able to stream at all. I will keep y'all updated on my Discord or on my Twitter/Blue Sky, both of those.
There you go. Follow him to keep updated of when he will go live. And as on my end, nothing new to report. Same ongoing projects are still being developed, and of course, I'm trying to prepare things for my new channel, as well as updating the look and branding of the JAC Show, which you will see changes in the coming months. And so with that, thank you very much for watching a more casual and by the end of it, more anime focused episode of the JAC Show. Thank you everyone who's for watching it live, and this actually will be re-editing it so they could be a proper video for those who are going to watch it later on. So with all that said, thank you very much for watching, and this is HAC and JAC, sign out.